My name is Charles Rodriguez Ferreira. Uh, this is my journalist video. The journalist that I selected was Upton Sinclair. So, Upton Sinclair was born in Baltimore, Maryland, on September 20th, 1878. His family moved to New York in 1888 when he was 10. Upton he gained admission to the New York City College when he was 14 years old. He graduated in 1897, and he went to Columbia University, and he studied law there for 2 years, but he dropped out to work as a novelist. Upton he'd been writing stories since he was 16 years old, but he decided to take it was a passion of his. He decided to take his passion and try to make a living out of it. So his first book that he wrote in 1901, it was called Springtime and Harvest. It was just a normal romance novel. Later, it was renamed to King Midas because of the similarities in the novel between the le- the Greek myth of King Midas and the main character. Sinclair found moderate success. He got around with his novels. Uh, he wrote some of his more important works were Oil with an exclamation point, written in 1927. It was about the administration of President Warren G. Harding and some of the shadier dealings that the president and his administration did. Uh, Another book was Boston in 1928, which it was about a famous case called the Sacco dash Vanzanetti case. There was two Italian men. The actual the whole ordeal happened in 1921, but his novel came out 9 years later, 1928. He was covering the court case. Um, Between 1913 and 1949 was Upton Sinclair's Lanny Budd series, where the character Lanny Budd. It started with World's End in 1913. Uh, and so Lanny Budd was a fictional character. He created that pretty much every major event from 1913 to 1949 up. Lanny Budd was in the center of it. One of the books, Dragon's Teeth, it documented the Hitler's rise to power in Germany, and Upton Sinclair won the Pulitzer Prize for it in 1949. Uh, Upton Sinclair's most important work was The Jungle, which it was one of his earlier works. It was published in 1906. He spent 7 weeks undercover in a processing plant, researching, gathering information, and even though all the characters within the novel were fictional, um, everything from like the plight of the workers to like the conditions they had to work in, the unsanitary nature of the plant, it was all real. It was from his research, and it was one of his greatest. Like it was a smash hit. It brought a lot of attention. It was very successful, and it was important because Upton Sinclair is like a pioneer of muck. Is one of the He was a muckraker. He was one of the pioneers of muckraking, and The Jungle proves that. Um, Thank you for your time.